Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today and welcome to this educational presentation of Attention Stock Traders. This is the course you've been searching for. And exactly what course are we talking about? Well, it's our new Elite Stock Trading College. We present this course once every year or two so that we can elevate your trading and teach you what is the best of the best amongst all of our stock trading tips and techniques. Now, I'm going to show you in today's presentation what you'll be actually getting within the course. For example, if we look at this chart here in Tiffany, this was coming in May into June, we see here that nothing is really happening. Most traders would discard this chart and say, well, we're in a range. We're just basically knocking our heads up against resistance. There's nothing to do here. Let's wait till the earnings come out. Let's wait till some news comes out, or let's wait till the institutions jump in before we decide to do something. This is the way the majority of traders trade. They wait for someone or something else to tell them what to do. Well, with one of the strategies, this strategy is specifically designed for trading stocks, if you had been applying this strategy, you would have seen that a signal was generated right here in the middle of May coming into June. And as you can see, a week or so later, the stock went up 34 points in the next month. Now, obviously, some news event came out which caused that jump, but it wasn't as if we knew in advance what the news event was going to be. No one called us from the company. The CEO didn't call me up and say, hey, Steve, you may want to post a buy signal in Tiffany because we're going to have a big gap opening in the next week or so. Everything we teach you is very simple and very easily accessed. And one of the beauties of what we'll be teaching you is that it's one click away on our new PTS Primo charting platform. It was specifically designed by myself and Pro Trader Strategies to teach traders how to trade. So this promises to be a great presentation today because I'm going to be sharing with you what exactly is entailed within our new stock trading college. So welcome once again. My name is Steven Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. About 8 or 9 years ago, I teamed up with Pro Trader Strategies where our only goal is simply to educate you as traders. That's what we feel is missing from most traders' trading plan, and that you really are throwing yourself out of the game by basically giving your power away and listening to someone or something else and therefore make their decisions, your trading decisions for you. What you should be doing is making your own trading decisions. That's the only way you'll become a consistent trader in our opinion. Now, most traders don't want to make their own decisions because they don't know how to, they don't feel they have enough experience, or they don't have anything to rely on. Well, this is where we come in. We supply you with that information and education that has stood the test of time. Now, I can teach you this information because I've been trading for over 4 decades now. I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was a trader on the floor for 16 years. 9 of those years I was a specialist. That's where we get the name specialist trading. A specialist is just someone who made markets in roughly 50 or 60 stocks. So if you wanted to buy or sell a particular stock, you had to go up to the trader who specialized in making a market in that. So I made markets in IBM, US Air, Waste Management, and among a number of other stocks as well. I made markets during the crash of 1987 and the bull market that followed. So I've seen and heard and traded just about everything you can imagine. I've been in straight up markets, straight down markets. I've traded systems, techniques, methods. So in my 41 years of trading, I know what works in terms of consistency and I know what doesn't work. So why waste your time and most especially your hard-earned money searching for that technique that will get you on that path to consistency? This is the course you've been searching for, okay? And we can really shorten your learning curve by teaching you this. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you what is entailed in the course that will be starting rather shortly, but before we begin, we are required to show you this, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to share with you a lot of performance results using this particular strategy today, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And please remember, all examples today are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, also, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to follow us on Twitter. Every day I post different information, anywhere from signals that our strategies have generated to little bits of financial wisdom I've accumulated along the way. So feel free to follow us on Twitter. There's our handle right there, abbreviation for Specialist Trading. Okay, so as I stated in the very opening statements, we are first and foremost an educational company. This is an educational presentation. Our goal is not to force feed you signals. Our goal is not to tell you what the perfect market is, what the perfect time frame is. I must get emails on a daily basis saying, okay, Steve, I went to your webinar. Can you just tell me what's your favorite time frame? that's not our goal. That's my favorite time frame. Everyone should trade to their own means, whatever makes them feel comfortable. No two traders should ever trade alike. So you should never go to a chat room and try to mimic what another trader is doing. You should never buy a system or just blindly follow the rules. You should be in charge of your own trading decisions. So that's what my goal is. Not to trade for you, but to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge. This is the same edge that turned my trading around some 41 years ago. Hopefully, it will be able to do the same with you. Now, we're going to show you a lot of different things that are included within our New Start Elite College, and we're also going to show you a lot of signals that have been generated lately using one of the strategies in the college. But we have a good crowd here today. If we stop for questions on each slide, we'll be here for probably 3 or 4 hours. I don't want to take up your whole day. So if you have a question, please wait till the end of today's class. I promise I'll get to each and every one of them, and I'll answer only one question right now, the most common, and that is this being recorded? Yes, it is. So if you have to leave early or if you're having technical difficulties, oftentimes if you just log off and log back on, everything will be corrected. But if you're still having issues, don't worry. We will send everyone a link to this recording of today's presentation. Okay? So if you joined us late, please wait till the end of today to ask questions. All right, so let's begin. Now I'm going to teach you what my mentors taught me. These were specialists on the floor who have been trading about 40, 50 years. And this is what they taught me about being a successful trader. They said, Steve, most of the things you rely on to be successful really have no consistency at all. I mean, I remember one of the first things they said is, it's amazing how many things there are that aren't. In other words, there are a lot of urban myths to what we feel is supposed to be working. And think of it, your own trading. Maybe you bought some $10,000, $20,000 system, or maybe you've taken some class where this guy was supposed to know everything, and it's not working, right? Well, here's what my mentors taught me about successful trading. They said, first of all, it should be non-subjective. What do we mean by that? Well, it means that two traders looking at the same chart, looking at the same issue, should come up with the exact same scenario, the exact same analysis. There shouldn't be that subjectivity where someone says, well, I really think this is going up. There's supposed to be some good earnings coming up, and I really think this stock is going up. And someone will say, no, I looked at the exact same chart. There's a lot of resistance there. The institutions are selling, and this should be going down to make new lows. That's not the way trading should be. Two traders looking at the same chart with the same information should come up with the same analysis. They also say successful trading should be consistent. Now, sure, everyone says, well, yeah, I want to be a consistent trader. But what does that really mean? Consistency really, in its basic format, means that, and it allows for losses. In other words, you will have losses from time to time. That's perfectly okay. Don't let anyone ever tell you to have a system or a method or a technique that never loses, or maybe loses once every 5 years. That's silly. I lose on a consistent basis, but the thing is, I have a method that's able to consistently recoup those losses and make it back. That's what you need. So you want an approach that's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because losses are inevitable. You want to keep them to a minimum, and you want to keep them small, and you want to have a technique that's able to recoup it rather quickly. That's what we mean by consistency. So don't ever be afraid to have losses and to lose money, as long as they're in line. Also, successful trading should be as simple as possible. I don't know how many other courses you may have taken, but if you look at some of the teachers and the so-called experts that have been trading for a relatively short time, which is 5 to 10 years, most of their plans, their trading plans, are extremely complicated. They have some convoluted indicator you never heard of. Maybe it's a black box system, or there's just too many rules that need to be met, too many requirements that need to be met before a setup can take place. But if you look at the traders who have been trading 30, 40, 50 years, most of their plans are extremely simple. Well, we're very proud that specialist trading, most of our rules have maybe 3 to 5 rules, maybe at the most 6, and usually only have 1 indicator at all. Okay, they're extremely simple. It doesn't matter if you've been trading 30 years or 30 minutes. Everyone can learn our methods. And then lastly, and most importantly, my mentors taught me that successful trading should make you a part of the process. This is the basic philosophy of everything we have here at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. We're trying to educate you so that you can be in charge of your own trading. There are no chat rooms. There are no signal services at Specialist Trading. Even though we provide you with signals, you decide, and you know beforehand what those signals were based off of. And you decide the different ways in which to trade them. Therefore, no two traders should ever trade alike. The entire industry we are in right now is based on traders trading the same way. Everyone has a master plan, and you come here and everyone will take the same signals. And that's silly. If that worked, then it would be estimated that 80% of all traders are successful. But it's the opposite. 80% of all traders fail. So no two traders should ever trade alike. We have students at Specialist Trading that will be trading the exact same market, the exact same time frame, and when one of our strategies generates a signal, they will come up with entirely different results. And that's okay. We encourage that because we want you to manage the trade. We give you all the different options, all the different variables, and then you decide. Do you want to have a conservative exit? Do you want to have an aggressive one? Do you want to have a lot of risk or a very minimal risk? Do you want to stay in the trade as long as possible? Do you want to stay in the trade just for as short as possible? It's entirely up to you. That's what makes a successful, consistent trader. Okay? So, with having said all of this, all of these components, all these basic philosophies are included in our new Elite Stock Trading College. Okay? Our methods are very easy to interpret. They're simple. They're consistent. They make you a part of the process. They're non-subjective. Okay? So, let's talk about what we're going to be including in our college, which is strategy number 8. All right? This is one of our, I would say, forgotten strategies because it's basically just designed for stocks. It was specifically designed for stock trading. Let me share with you some of the highlights of this particular method, which will only be included in our college. All right, as I stated, it's a stock-only strategy. Now, we've had a lot of students try and transfer it over onto other markets with minimal success. It will work okay in other markets, but it really doesn't have that high consistency that we see with stocks. So that's why we're only including it in our stock college. Now, it only uses 2 indicators, and we give you the proprietary settings. And it's very simple, and everything is done simply and easily with these proprietary settings of these indicators. Now, the beauty of Strategy 8 is that it often shows the capability to catch some big moves. And I'll show you that in just a few minutes with some examples we're going to be talking about. It works best in daily bars and higher time frames. See, the method, and we share with you all the rules. This is not a black box system. We share everything in the college with you. But the point is, the way Strategy 8 is formatted is that it looks at price in relation to these 2 proprietary setting of the indicators. So that's what it is. It's based off the relationship between price and these specific indicators that we're using. Now, we get the best results in daily bars and in higher time frames. Now, you can apply this to any direction. If you like to go long or short, it makes no difference. And remember, how you decide to trade it is up to you. Conservatively, aggressively, you can actually buy the stock, you can short the stock, or you can buy puts, or you can apply some type of a spread. It's entirely up to you how you want to enter. We're not telling you how to get involved in the trade. We're just showing you these high probability setups. But with all of our methods, we always tell our students to learn the strategy and paper trade first. This is a requirement in all of our courses because this is how you will learn. Too many students lose right off the bat because they're implementing the rules incorrectly. So we want you to really know the strategies like the back of your hand, and the way to do that is by first paper trading. Now remember, all our methods are very consistent. But what does that mean again? It means there will be losses. That's not something to worry about. In fact, I'll show you a couple of examples in just a few minutes of small losses. The beauty of our methods is their capability to recoup those losses. Remember, everything is a 2-step forward, 1-step back process. All right, so let's look at some recent strategy number 8 examples. And I know a lot of you are going to be asking me, well, see, where would I enter? Where would I exit? This is all going to be included in the course. We're just sharing with you where these setups were, and we're going to show you the ease of how well Strategy 8 works in the stock market. All right, let's start with buys first, okay? We're only going to look at buys in the last month or 2. And then later on, I'll show you examples that happened as recent as yesterday, okay? All right, so let's look at SYY here. This was in May, coming into mid-May, into June and July. As you can see, it looks as if nothing is really happening here, but because of the unique relationship between price and these indicators, a buy, strategy number 8 buy signal was generated, and the stock went up 7 points coming into the beginning of July, okay? So if you like to stay in long for this trade, you could have stayed in and had a nice 7-point gain if this was an investment. What about Costco? All right, now we have a cluster of signals here. Once again, the stock is basically doing nothing, going sideways for the next 3 weeks here. This was the beginning of June, but we had a series of buy signals, just two lined up next to each other. And then coming into July, 13-point rise. See, that's one of the aspects of this particular strategy. Oftentimes, it will generate signals well in advance of a big move or a sustained move. Let's look at PSA. The same thing. It looked as if we were going higher, then rolling over, but a buy signal is generated using strategy number 8. Now, this was in the middle and to end of June, just this past month. 20 points coming into the first week of July. Okay? How about Tiffany? This is what we talked about earlier. This was in May. Going sideways, nothing happened at all, and we had that nice 34-point rise coming into the beginning of July. One of the beauties of this strategy is if you miss it, don't worry. Oftentimes, it will generate a new signal. So you could have easily gotten in here if you didn't take this setup and not had as many gains, but still would have been able to profit from a nice upward move. Let's look at Netflix. All right, this was in May coming into June. It looked as if we're going sideways. We may be breaking out. A buy signal was generated, and Netflix rose 92 points in just 1 month coming into the beginning of July. Now we realize Netflix is an expensive stock. You could have bought calls, could have put on some type of spread if you'd like, a positive spread. It's entirely up to you how you want to trade these. We're just furnishing with you these high probability setups. All right, let's look at sells, because that exact same time frame, sell signals are being generated. Now, it's up to you if you want to take sells, you can. A lot of our traders say, well, Steve, if the market is up, I only want to take buy signals. I feel uncomfortable going short. Well, then don't take them. Remember, we're not a systematic company here. We don't tell you you have to take the trade. And you're going to be in charge of your trading process. Now, some traders say, no, I want to go long and short. Great. Strategy number 8 will also generate sell signals in the exact same time period that it's generating buy signals. Now, this is what we call a cluster. This is where we have a series of sells. Now, depending on where you placed your stop, you may have been stopped out of these first two signals right here, okay? You would have gotten short, nothing much happened, and we kind of went higher. So depending on what type of risk parameters you have, and we teach you all the different risk parameters, it's entirely up to you which ones you want to decide on using, you may have been stopped out because there nothing really much happened. But if you continue to trust in the method, you could have taken this last signal here and, well, 3 points to the downside. Not a lot, but you would have recouped what you lost earlier, okay? Let's look at this one. Now, someone would say, well, Steve, we're going down here. I feel uncomfortable selling. How can I sell when the market's going down? Well, oftentimes, because of the relationship between price and these indicators, that's just the beginning of a nice move. And it was 6 points lower coming into the end of June, all right? HRS, we have the stock kind of drifting higher, but we have one down day here, and then all the requirements are met to sell HRS according to strategy number 8. Had you sold this, well, you could have potentially captured anywhere 10 points, within 10 points coming into the beginning of July. Here's another example in AMG, a little bit more expensive stock here. We're going higher, but it looks as if we're rolling over, and a sell signal was generated in AMG by applying strategy number 8. And now we have a total of 18 points that we could have potentially captured to the downside. Now remember, how you decide to trade is up to you. We see that we had a quick, I believe, about 5-point downward move. You could have gotten out, and if you wanted to, gotten back in again. It's entirely up to you. We show you how to do this in the class. This is limited LMT. We're drifting higher here. Someone would say, well, Steve, how can I sell here? We're doing pretty well. Well, there was a sell signal generated in the middle of June and 28 points coming into the end of June. So you potentially could have captured up to 28 points to the downside. Remember, if you wanted to short the stock or if you wanted to short or buy puts, it's entirely up to you, or sell calls. Now let's look at some higher time frames, because remember, we stated that strategy number 8 works the best in daily bars and in higher time frames. So let's share with you what we would have noticed going up in time. Remember we talked about Tiffany, how it had that nice run. Well, if we were looking at a weekly chart of Tiffany, we see here going back to April, not much is happening in the stock as well, but a nice buy signal was generated the 23rd of April. All right. On a weekly time frame, the same rules apply. Nothing changes because we're changing time frames. The same rules apply. The same signals are generated, and that was the 34 points you could have taken advantage, but it would have gotten you in a lot quicker. 34 points in 2 months. Could have had some leaps, or you could have invested in the stock. A lot of our past students like to use strategy number 8 as an investment tool to get them in or to add to their positions in stocks. Here's a TSRO, sell signal. This was, once again, just looking at these past 6 bars. That's all the information you need. A sell signal in this very inexpensive $40, $50 stock. 20 points to the downside, okay, on a weekly time frame. Now, let's say you were long the stock and strategy number 8 generated a weekly sell signal. Well, this might be a great idea to maybe exit the stock because you're not going to actually want to short it, but maybe it's time to get out or sell a portion of your position, and then you can get back in. Here's a monthly chart of Facebook. And once again, we're going back right to the beginning of Facebook, 2012, 2013. Now, at the end of 12, beginning of 13, we had what we call, once again, a cluster of buy signals. The first 2, nothing much happened, but if you're an investor, most likely you don't care about placing a real tight stop because you're investing. So if you had Facebook here, you're willing to hold on to this, at the time, an only $20, $25 stock. And then the third signal was generated roughly about 5 years ago in July of 2013. And we all know what's happened in Facebook because in 5 years, the stock has gained over 160 points. This was all generated by looking at a higher time frame and by applying strategy number 8. And once again, as we stated earlier, don't worry, if you happen to miss a setup, there are other signals being generated. Another one was generated at the beginning of 2017, and still another one was generated in April of 2018. All right, so let's recap before we go to question and answer. I tell you about a great offer we have for all of you who are interested in becoming members of our new elite stock trading college. Remember, this is a stock-only strategy, and it's one of the techniques we teach you in the actual college. It only uses 2 indicators, and we give you proprietary settings for each one of the indicators because the setups are generated by the price of the stock and its relationship to these indicators. Now, it often, as you've just seen, shows the capability to catch some very big moves, either sustained moves or these nice big gap ups or gap downs. As you've seen, it works the best in daily bars and higher time frames. So if you like to trade as a swing trader, or if you like to invest, you can apply this to each one of those different styles. You can apply it to any direction. We showed you not only long setups, but sell setups as well. Once again, all of our members are required first to paper trade. Don't just jump in and start trading right away. We want you to paper trade, and that's up to you to decide how long. Now, our edges here is consistency. I showed you a couple of examples where we had some small minor losses and how easy it was to recoup, usually on the very next setup. So we have very consistent methods. That's what we're proud of. So before you ask me questions, I'd like you to answer one of the questions we're going to ask you, and that is, do you think this strategy could have helped your trading this past year? What if it were only one in a series of different techniques and methods that could really elevate your stock trading? Well, here's the great offer we have. We're going to talk about our elite stock trading college because we really would love for you to become a member of mine and also a student in our new college because we have a lot of different things that we'd like to share with you. Firstly, here's the curriculum of the college. It's 6 weeks of online interaction with myself, teaching you online. And let me share with you what the actual schedule is. The first week, we talk about the foundation and the building blocks of stock trading, all right? And many of these things are according to our philosophy. They're a little bit different from what you've heard about. We're not going to be talking about volume. We're not going to be caring about the institutions or what they do. We're not looking at support and resistance. We're basically teaching you how to listen to what the market's doing. Because remember, if those things work so well, trust me, I learned about those things 41 years ago, and I couldn't make a dime figuring out volume, or I couldn't make a dime looking at the institutions, or I couldn't make a dime looking at what the economic indicators were or the earnings were. It wasn't until my mentors taught me how to listen to the market, that's when my trading became consistent. So this is what we teach you in week 1. In week 2, We'll talk about the primary strategies we're going to be teaching you, which are strategy 4, which is our most popular, as well as consistent strategy, and strategy 8, the one I just talked about today. All right. We feel these are the best of the best, and these are the ones you should be focusing on. Now, in week 3, after you've learned the basic setups of strategy 4 and 8, we're going to be talking about entries, exits, and stop placement. Because I want you, firstly, to understand the core setups, what it takes for a strategy setup to be generated. And once you understand that in week number 2, then we start talking about where you're going to be exiting, where you're going to be placing your stop, where you're going to be entering. And we'll give you all the different variables, and then you can decide. Now, in week 4, we go on to one of our most popular tools and most powerful. That's the PET D. You've heard me speak about it before. This was something I was introduced to some 40 years ago on the floor. I use it every day. It is the best directional tool I know of. It's a color bar algorithm, and that all you have to do is apply it to your chart, and it automatically colors the bars either green for an uptrend or red for a downtrend. But we show you multiple ways in which to apply it to your stock trading. Week 5 is going to be a great class because it's different from what we've been teaching you before. We're going to be having a class with Eric Wilkinson. He teaches option trading. You've seen him speak on Pro Trader Strategies webinar before. He's very popular. He used to be on the floor of the exchange, the Chicago Board of Trade. He's a great trader for options. He can show you how to apply the things we've taught you with these strategies, with the PET D, with your exits and entries by trading options with them. So if you're an option trader, you can't afford to miss this week 5 class. And finally, in our last live class, week 6, we'll talk about advanced trade management. This is something, once again, that I learned some 4 decades ago on the floor. It's a little bit different from anything you've ever been taught. In fact, it's so unique and so powerful that we only speak about this particular technique in our colleges. There's no course that's devoted to it. There is actually no specific webinars. It's called advanced trade management. You'll know exactly how to apply it once we go into week 6. And then we'll put it all together. Any final questions, anything that didn't understand, or anything that you'd like to ask, you can go over in week 6. But remember, these are the live weekly classes. Once this is concluded, it's not as if you're thrown to the wolves and we say good luck. You're always going to be a student of mine. You can contact me whenever you like via email, my private email address, and ask me questions whenever concerning what you've learned, or and maybe any ideas you may have. This is the actual curriculum of the 6-week course. Now, these strategies work great with stocks, as you've just seen, but you can also apply them, especially strategy 4, to ETFs, futures, forex, and commodities. You can apply the PET D. You can apply the option trading we're going to be sharing with you. You can apply advanced trading management. You can apply these exits and these stop placements. All this can be applied, some better than others, to these different markets and as well to the different time frames. Let's talk about the other strategy we're going to be sharing with you, strategy number 4. Here's a 1-hour chart of the E-mini futures. These are the actual signals generated using strategy number 4. So if you like to trade multiple markets, this is a great course to take because many of our techniques and methods and this strategy 4, can easily be transferred over. This is an intraday chart of the S&P futures. We can also apply this to forex. Here's a daily chart of the euro dollar. Okay, look at these great sell signals that happened in May coming into June. Now you can also apply it to ETFs. These are the QQQs, and this actually happened this past month. Strategy number 4 generated a buy signal on the 28th of June, and we all know that the market has had a very nice run-up this past week. This is a chart coming into yesterday. All right, this was an actual signal you could have applied to the QQQs. I'm going to teach you all the rules, all the entry, exit, stop placement for this particular strategy in the college. And then lastly, remember Bitcoin? Remember the great run-up Bitcoin had last year? Well, if we look at a weekly chart of Bitcoin, these were all strategy number 8 buy signals. So even though it works the best in stocks, you could have easily applied it to Bitcoin while it had its meteoric rise last year. Now, if you go on to my website or the Pro Trader Strategies website, you'll see a number of testimonials from past colleges, members that took past courses. In fact, we have testimonials just from people who started trading last week to actual testimonials of people that are managing hedge funds that have been trading for 20, 30 years on top of that. So it makes no difference your level of experience or how well you think you may have knowledge in the markets. Everyone gets the same basic format in the educational process, and then we work with you individually to make you feel comfortable. Remember, as my mentors taught me some 41 years ago, Trading should be non-subjective. That's the beauty of the college, because after you learn what I teach you, you'll be able to look at a chart and two of our students will come up with the exact same scenario, whether it's a buy, whether it's a sell, and you'll know exactly the different areas for entry, the different areas for stop placement, and the different areas for exiting. But no one will come up and say, well, Steve, I see that there's a chart here in IBM. I think you should be going short according to the signal. And someone would say, no, this is a buy signal. That will never happen in our colleges. You'll see how consistent our methods are as well. Consistency means you will have small losses from time to time. That's okay. We want to be able to recoup those losses. So you will have losses as long as you have a method that's able to recoup them and get you back on track. That's what we mean by consistency. Remember, trading should be as simple as possible. As you saw, these rules are extremely simple. Strategy number 8 comes with only 2 indicators, very simple rules. But if you're having difficulty, don't worry. I'll be there with you every step of the way to explain things to you. And lastly, should make you a part of the process. We don't believe in chat rooms. We don't believe in blindly taking signals, even though we give you up and down arrows for when signals have been generated. Those are strictly for educational purposes only, for you to check your work. All right? Many of our students rely on them in the beginning, but after they've practiced for a while, they don't need the arrows to tell them when a signal is, because they can just simply look at a chart, apply a few indicators, and know exactly when a buy or sell has been generated. Remember, you are in charge of your trading, not me, not someone in a chat room, not someone on TV. You're going to be in charge of your trading for the very first time. Now, we have a great discount for all the attendees today, all the people interested in taking their trading to the next level. We're going to offer you the new Elite Stock Trading College for a great, great discount. Now, you're going to get instant access. Remember, this is 6 weeks of detailed instruction, 2 proprietary strategies, all the entries, exits, and stop placement. You're going to get our signal scanner. You're going to get the PET D, option trading class, advanced trading management, and full access to all of the rules. But guess what? We're not going to stop there. We're also going to throw in 12 months, 1 year of our PTS Primo charting platform free. Everything you saw today was generated using our platform. And the beauty of it is, once again, is that it was specifically designed by Pro Trader Strategies and myself to make trading simple. Everything is one click away. There's nothing to reformat. There's nothing to go in and change the rules or change the format or the default settings of an indicator. It's all right there for you. So all you have to do is just click on the indicator, whatever you're interested in, and it's right there in a matter of seconds. Also, the up and down signal arrows are automatically formatted as well. Now, one of the great things we have included in that is our scanner. All right. So for strategy 4 and strategy 8, if you want to scan on a nightly basis, all you have to do is click on our scanner button. It will automatically give you a series of different lists that you can look through, either the NASDAQ, the S&P, the top ETFs, currency pairs, futures, commodities, anything you're interested in trading. You can even make up your own basket of stocks if you like to look at 10 or 20 stocks of the things you like to trade, and then hit scan. And in less than a minute, you'll see either a green or a red horizontal bar. That means you'll have a corresponding buy signal and a corresponding sell signal. Now, let's say I had given this presentation a couple of weeks ago, all right? And you decided to become a member, and you already had capability to use the scanner. This is what would have shown up in the last couple of weeks. As we see here, on the 26th, on the 2nd, and on the 6th, which was just last week of July, you had a cluster of buy signals in SFIX, all right? But nothing really much has happened. Now, I don't think you really would have been stopped out. Possibly may have been stopped out on this first setup, but not on these two. So if you got back in, you see that there's a nice cluster, and the last 3 days would have generated 6 points to the upside. You could have made back your small loss and then some. Now, that took 3 days. What about yesterday? All right? Had you scanned yesterday, last night, you would have seen that there was a buy signal generated in MYGN. All right? And 2 days earlier, there was a buy signal generated as well. Now, look at the stock. The stock is doing absolutely nothing, just been going sideways for the past 2-3 weeks. All right? But strategy number 8 generated 2 buy signals. And today, the stock jumped up and gapped open 6 points. Now, maybe even higher. I took this slide, the snapshot of today's action prior to this presentation. But this just shows you the consistency of these methods. All right, it's easy to go to a webinar and for some someone teaching the class to show you things that worked great a year ago or 6 months ago. But to see just yesterday or last week how these signals that are going to be in the college could have generated these nice setups and these winning trades is really, something to be excited about, because this is what you're going to be learning in the college. We're not going to just furnish you with these signals so that you can blindly take them. You're going to understand the entire process behind why every signal is generated in the course. So remember, this is our new Elite Stock Trading College. All of this is included. Now, usually we've priced this Elite Stock College, the complete course, along with the 12 months of the platform for $5,000. Actually, $5,000 just for the course. It was an extra roughly $1,000 or so for the use of the platform. But we're not going to charge you that. In fact, we're going to discount the price roughly about $1,500 down to $34.95. This is our early bird price, $34.95, which also includes payment plans. So if you don't have that one lump sum, don't worry. You can contact Pro Trader Strategies. They can put together a payment plan with you for a small deposit. You can still be up and running and in the first class, all right? And remember, this price, $34.95, includes 1 year free of the PTS charting platform. But please remember, don't sit on this. A lot of students, when we have a great deal like this, will say, gosh, this sounds really good, but I'm going to wait a couple of weeks because I want to really think about whether I need this or not. And then you'll wait, they'll watch the video, and they say, boy, this looks too good to be true. I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to get a payment plan. And then all of a sudden you call up Pro Trader Strategies and the deal is over. It's back up to $5,000 or maybe even more. In fact, this early bird pricing of $34.95 is only good until this Friday. So you have to take advantage of this quickly. So here's how to take advantage and become a student of mine, because trust me, a year from today, you will have wished you became a member of this course. If you don't think so, ask yourself, how is your trading going so far? The year is over, half over. How is it going? Are you anywhere near where you thought you'd be? Isn't it time you take charge of your trading? Isn't it time you take yourself to the next level? We can help you get along that way and put your trading in your own hands. So don't sit and become one of the traders that says, gosh, why didn't I take that course? Because right now I've lost almost all my money and I don't have any money left to trade. We really feel strongly that this course can help you tremendously. All right, so here's how to take advantage of this. Contact my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies. I developed the course along with the platform with them. You can email them at trading@protraderstrategies.com or call them directly to set up a payment plan at area code 310-598-6677. Now, the link to sign up and take advantage of this early bird pricing, and as well as get the 12 months free of the PTS platform, is on the very bottom there. But it's not a live link. You'd have to copy and paste that onto your browser. If you look in the chat box on the far right-hand corner of the GoToWebinar column there, you see there just under the attendee list or the audio, there is a chat box there, and they have posted a live link. So all you have to do is click that on. It will take you to the sign-up page, a lot more information, and you can sign up right away. My suggestion as your future mentor would be to contact Pro Trader Strategies. There's absolutely no obligation. Call them at the phone number, talk to one of their highly qualified trading consultants, and they will be able to answer any question you have, okay, concerning pricing, discounts, and the payment plans, okay? So I'm going to leave this information up here. If you have a question, or if you did have a question, kindly write them down now, and I promise I'll answer each and every one of them. A lot of the traders have asked in the past, and I think there are some questions concerning this right now. What if we want to use our own platform? That's fine. We will give you the edits for this, but remember, it's so much easier on our platform, and we're going to give our platform to you anyway. So we would just really advise that you use our platform while using this, because all the edits, all the alterations, all the different settings are already pre-formatted. So there's nothing you would have to change the way you would have to if you wanted to use the different edits on your particular trading platform. So we would suggest, and that's why we give you a full year of this, so that you can really make your trading that much simpler, okay? Someone asked, can you please repeat what the offer is again? The offer is the 6-week online course with yours truly teaching you every week. And remember, the courses last, or I should say the classes last anywhere from an hour minimum to 3 hours. They've gone 3 hours, and we pick the day that that meets everyone's needs. We have had recently some students coming in from China, from New Zealand. We have people in Europe. We also have people all over the United States. So we try and pick a time period that is operable for everyone involved. We do it by committee and pick a time period that works well for everyone. Classes usually are on Friday afternoon or Friday mornings, so that you have all weekend to study and to ask me questions as well. Okay. Remember, this deal is only, someone's asking, how long is it again? This deal of the $34.95 along with the payment plans is only good until this Friday. After that, most likely go back up to the full price again. And we don't even know if the platform will be included. So this is something you want to take advantage of, okay? Okay, as we close here, I just want to say I really hope you got something out of this. You see what you're going to be learning and getting in this. These are the same things, the same rules, the same techniques and methods that I was taught some 40 years ago. They've helped to sustain me for 4 decades now. Hopefully they can sustain your stock trading as well. So please don't hesitate. There's no obligation to even call Pro Trader Strategies. Even if you're still on the fence, give them a call. They can answer more questions that you may have about pricing, about discounts, and about payment plans, all right? In conclusion, I want to say thank you so much for attending. I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the new Elite Stock Trading College. Thanks for attending. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.